Is that a trick question? This man was a bona fide scrub. Bona fide scrub.
This dude, I believe he's a bona fide superstar right now.
Right. Oh, well, of course, it's all about winning, baby.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Peter back here for Star and Scrub NBA. Welcome to the second of our Summer League breakdown videos. I had to get this one out of the way today because I'm super excited. I'm a massive Warriors fan, and of course, the source of much excitement for Warriors fans over the past couple of weeks has been the play of the number 7 overall pick, Jonathan Kuminga, during Summer League. I think he's just a super fascinating player. For NBA fans in general, if you look at some of the top prospects like Cade Cunningham, who we've already analysed on our first video, like your Jalen Greens, Evan Mobley's, Jalen Suggs, I think some of those top prospects are basically guaranteed to be really high-level, all-star caliber NBA players. I think Jonathan Kuminga has as much upside, if not more upside, than those types, but he's basically a real unknown, being just 18 years of age. And in this video, we're going to go through a few of his clips from the game the other day against the New Orleans Pelicans and try and dissect whether or not he can come in and contribute next season to a Warriors team that's hoping to return to title contention, or is he, as many predicted pre-draft, a raw project that is going to take quite a few years before becoming a really solid, consistent, high-level NBA player. Just a quick note before we start, guys. I'm not going to use his nickname that's been anointed on social media. So if you're waiting for me to maybe mention that, you'll be left disappointed. But other than that, guys, let's get into the Summer League breakdown of the Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga.
Well, tough shot right there, trying to finish between those two.
Kaminga's going to get this last look.
Uh-oh.
Top of the arc. Wait a minute. Crossover.
Alrighty, so obviously you saw that play there first from earlier in the Summer League, the most exciting play so far from Jonathan Kuminga, but I'm not actually going to go into detail on that one. Firstly, I think there was a little bit of a carry in there that the ref didn't call, and secondly, we know how aggressive he can go to the rim, so I'm going to show something a bit similar to that. But first, I also want to get into something that can really show and demonstrate how Jonathan Kuminga may possibly become a high-level, all-star caliber player, even superstar-level player in the NBA. So let's watch his first clip here against the Pelicans. He dribbles the ball up. Now he goes left here, and then he finds a beautiful dish with the offhand, with his left hand, to a baseline cutter. Now, if we come back to here and we pause it right here, earlier in the Summer League, he had a similar situation, basically absolutely identical to this, where he was dribbling up the floor on this side, basically in the exact same spot. He had a defender right here in the exact same spot. And what he did was actually go briefly left and then cross over this defender here and go to the rim and slam it home. It was another really exceptional play from Kaminga earlier in the Summer League. Here he decides to do something different. Now, if we leave to here, these defenders here, the baseline cutter, which he eventually passes the ball to, that's almost open for a pass right now. And I actually think of the three options he has, he almost chooses the worst one, because the first thing you could do is either lob a pass in here for potentially a slam, or it doesn't even have to be a slam. He can literally just throw this pass over the top to the cutter, who, by this stage, if we play it a fraction more, is already running in for a baseline cut there. He can just lob that over the top, and I think the teammate would actually have time to catch, come down with it, and then go back up and lay it in without one of these defenders actually getting back in time. So firstly, he doesn't choose that option. Secondly, instead of potentially going where there's only basically one defender here, I think he's got the capability to cross this man over, find space in here, and then he's got an open lane to the rim. Instead, he decides to go left, as we can see here. Now, this player here does a really nice job of actually going back to his previous position and not committing to the baseline cut too early. So we saw on that frame before where he could have made the pass over the top. He actually goes back to the corner, times his cut really well, and Kaminga this time finds him with a really nice pass from on the left hand, on the offhand there to the rim. So that for me, now is he going to be doing that a whole lot in the Warriors system to begin his NBA career? No, I think he's way more likely to actually be the cutter in that situation. And from that point of view, he's got to learn to be able to make those plays from the corner, whether it be spotting up as a corner shooter or making that really baseline cut. If he can learn to do that off players like Steph Curry and Draymond Green, he can really get a lot of easy baskets, whether it be that three-point corner shot, which he really needs to work on, or whether that is baseline cutting to the rim and getting some open dunks and open layups as well. So I think this is a play that is going to be seen more in the future for Kaminga. It's not necessarily going to be a situation we're going to see early next season for the Warriors, because maybe there might be times where he can handle the ball in transition, but ideally it's more going to be in the hands of those more experienced veterans like a Steph Curry, like a Draymond Green, even the returning Andre Iguodala. I think this second clip is really interesting because we've seen the raw athleticism, the aggression that Kaminga has going to the rim, but at times he's also shown a lot of control and a lot of deft touch around the rim, which I think is just going to be as important going into his rookie season in the NBA. If we watch the clip here, the beautiful finish with the left hand, with the offhand again, as we saw with that pass. If we watch it in slow motion, I've been really impressed with his handle and his control on these drives. This isn't an aggressive takeoff at all. If we just take it back a few frames, he almost just jumps off 2 feet here. This is not one leg jump as aggressively as he can. This is a really controlled drive, a really controlled launch into the air. He then uses his right hand just to push into the chest of the defender, and a really nice deft touch around the rim. That's really impressive. Now, my question mark going forward into the next season, into his rookie season of the NBA, is what's he going to be like when that interior defender is Rudy Gobert or Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, these types? Is he still going to have the same ability that is shown in Summer League to be able to finish those plays? I would argue not, but who knows? He's 18 years of age, and his body size and his ability to control his body in the air has been really impressive for the Warriors in Summer League, that's for sure. Whether he can do that or not is going to really determine how many minutes he actually gets in this Warriors organization, but his ability not just to be aggressive going to the rim, but also have control and be able to apply deft touches and get those finishes has been super impressive. The other thing for him is we're going to see a lot of fouling each way when he goes to the rim because of that aggressiveness. He loves the body contact. We saw in this play here the push-off against the defender. He is going to be called for some offensive fouls, I can guarantee you that, but he also averaged over 7 free throw attempts per game in the Summer League, so that also demonstrates he's going to get to the line a lot, and it's going to be crucial that he can at least get to probably a mid-70s, I think, is probably a realistic aim for his rookie season. Can he get to mid-70s percentage-wise from the free throw line? Because if he can, then he's going to make a lot of points for the Warriors and give them something that they haven't had a lot of. They're not the best free throw shooting team in terms of getting to the line. Obviously, the likes of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson can knock them down, that's for sure, but they don't necessarily have that player that attacks the rim like Jonathan Kuminga to be able to get to the line as often as he may do, even as early as his rookie season. I think this final clip gives a really good combination of how Jonathan Kuminga can come in and contribute to the Warriors as early as next season, and also down the line, 3-4 years in the future, how he can become a really high-level two-way wing, which we know is so coveted in today's NBA. He's 6'8", he's got the strength. Can he lock in defensively? Well, this is what he does in this play here. We can see he's guarding one-on-one. There's about 15 seconds left on the clock. I think it's Najee Marshall throws up and complete air ball, and then Kaminga gets out in transition and a nice, really controlled finish with the layup to give the Warriors the lead in a match that they ended up losing by 1 in overtime. Now, if we see here, a lot of the pre-draft comments, the criticisms of Kaminga were the inability to stay locked in on defense. Look, it's 74 apiece here with 15 seconds or so on the clock. He's locked in. We can see here. Now, in any brand of basketball, in any game of basketball, what you're trying to do is basically keep the attacking player in front of you in this situation. When the game's tied, what you don't want to do is let them go by you, force your teammates as other defenders to come across and help from the weak side and whatnot. And also, if an attacking player can get into the lane, if there's some contact, then that's putting pressure on referees to potentially make a fouling decision, which you don't want to do at the end of the game. You want to try and keep as much of the situation in your hands as possible. So Kaminga does a really good job here to keep Marshall in front of him and not allow him to go by him. And then he creates a little bit of separation off the dribble, but not enough for there to be a really clean look. You can see how Kaminga contests here. It's a really good contest without fouling. Allows him to have space to leave his feet and then obviously come back down. Marshall throws up an air ball, which is not a great shot at the end of the day. Yes, Kaminga plays good defense, but it's not good execution by Marshall at all. And then on the breakout, on the fast break here, he does a really good job in these situations. He knows there's only a few seconds on the clock. There's a tendency potentially for younger players to rush this situation. He does a really nice job to just let his defender go by him and lay it in. So that, for Warriors fans, gives a real demonstration of how Jonathan Kuminga can contribute next year by being a two-way wing, but also in the future being that elite two-way player that can defend on one end, get out on transition, and also create his own shot. This guy's got so much potential, it's ridiculous. Whether he can tap into that as early as next season is waiting to be seen, and that's the question that all Warriors fans are waiting to see the outcome of. Thanks for watching this episode of Summer League Breakdown, guys. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about the game of Jonathan Kuminga. I'm super excited as a Warriors fan. I think all Warriors fans should be excited about where Kaminga may end up as an NBA player. I honestly think he can contribute from as early as next season, probably in a backup power forward role, maybe 10, 15 minutes a night here and there. If you want to hear me talk more about his game, then go listen to our latest podcast where we dissect all the Summer League action. Apart from that, guys, if you like the content, make sure to subscribe and hit follow on all our social media channels.